Hello YouTube, it's Neveros and we're back with another video. New Shoe0nHead reaction. Is America okay? Um, just a quick update from me. I got a job, so I'm not sure when I'll be working, which means stream schedule is going to be a little bit on the futsy side, but uh, that that would be a problem if I actually had a stream schedule. But for now, it's looking at least this week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, maybe Saturday and Sunday. I'm not sure. But yeah, keep an eye on me, and links to the Twitch and everything will be down below. Link to this original video will be down below. Be sure to check it out if you want to. And without further ado, let's go. Hellworld report.
Hello friends, my name is Shoe0nHead and welcome
Hi, Shoe.
to my new series, the Hellworld Report. Some of you may remember my old series that was just called Hellworld.
Yeah.
If you do, you can qualify for a veterans discount. Congratulations! And if you remember the Gamergate days, well...
I remember Gamergate. I remember not really understanding what Gamergate was all about. And when I tweeted at Will Wheaton, who was tweeting out about Gamergate, and I asked him, like, so what is Gamergate? Next thing I know, he blocked me, so...
Please come collect your retirement. But yeah, if you have not seen my old series, go check it out. I will
actually
put
older
the
than you,
link to the playlist down below. I think it's a really interesting time capsule into the years 2020 and 2021, like how crazy it was back then, and then in retrospect comparing it to how crazy it is now.
How many people actually remember much beyond 2021? Like from 2020 down through the years to like 2010. How much of that decade do you guys remember? I don't remember too much, honestly. I remember it sucked, but that's about it.
But this is a shorter, more condensed version of that series. Think of it as a Temu, Jon Stewart, or Stephen Colbert before they morphed into the same flavor of shitlib. You see,
Calling those two Temu versions, they are the Temu versions of themselves.
I'm better than those late night Jimmies because I don't get my news from mainstream sources like some kind of hack. No. I get them from far more reputable places like
Reddit,
Instagram Reels, and Femboy Groiper69 on Twitter.
Do you know what? The problem with that is that Men in Black already covered this, like getting information from the supermarket tabloids. Remember that scene? Before they found what's his face, Beatrice, the Edgar's wife in the farmhouse in the movie Men in Black, 1997. Might be too old. If your feet don't touch the floor, you're too young for that movie.
From furry ballrooms and the Epstein files to OnlyFans green.
That is, if your feet don't touch the floor when you sit in the toilet. I meant.
Cards and kidnapping foreign leaders, from government-funded purple-haired girlfriends to a potential civil war, we have a very packed show for you today. It has been a crazy year, and it is only January. Funded purple-haired girlfriends to a potential civil war, we have a very packed show for you today.
Yeah, well, when it comes to civil war, one side collects guns for fun, and the other side collects mental disorders like their Pokemon cards, so I know where I've got my money.
It has been a crazy year, and it is only January. As I am filming this, we are currently having a huge winter storm.
Well, I'm recording this on the 2nd of February, so...
This morning, snow, ice, and frigid temperatures sweeping across the nation. 20 states under a state of emergency.
Ah, yes.
It's almost like winter happened.
Perfect weather to make some poor immigrant deliver me chicken tendies. It's so cold that Michigan and Minnesota received reports about exploding trees. Leftists said no more ice, and God said... Anyway, in news that should have stayed in 2016, apparently there is a new term women have coined called man-keeping. Man-keeping is why women are done with dating. Researchers at Stanford have finally given a name to something many women have been dealing with for years. It's called man-keeping, and it's helping explain why so many women are stepping away from dating altogether. Man-keeping,
I'm not sure if I want to know.
Describes the emotional labor women end up doing in heterosexual relationships. It goes beyond remembering birthdays or coordinating social plans. It means being your partner's one-man support system, managing his stress, interpreting his moods, holding his hand through feelings he won't share with anyone else. All of it unpaid, unacknowledged, and often unreciprocated.
I take issue with the unreciprocated part. This sounds like everything that I had to do for my ex-girlfriend, and she couldn't be bothered to do the same for me. I remember being at her house. I'm a guest in her house, and she's asking me to go make coffee. Does that sound right? Doesn't seem right to me. And yet, women expect this from men, but they're not prepared to do the same. So anyone so there's a new red flag. Anybody who uses the word man keeping.
I hate this therapy speak people talk with nowadays. Emotional labor? You mean being there for your partner?
Yeah.
This is why so many people are just gonna start dating ChatGPT. People thought
What do you mean starting? I've been in a relationship with ChatGPT for like 3 years already.
Men were going to be the ones dating AI. No. They're going to be the ones with these sex robots. Women are the ones who want the daily affirmation machines.
Yep.
Yes, honey, I love when you talk about all the drama at work. Tell me more about that bitch Veronica. Man-spreading, mansplaining, man-interrupting, man-keeping, manscaping. Speaking of manscaping.
Oh God.
Before we dive into the news, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, a sponsor that can help you with your manscaping, Henson Shaving. For the last few decades, razors haven't been designed to work better. They've been designed.
Why does she look so incredibly good with the long blonde hair and those glasses?
Designed to be marketed better. More blades, more features, more gimmicks, and skin irritation is just something you're told to deal with. A big cause for that irritation is blade flex. Most razors use springs to let the blades move as you shave. That causes extra friction and razor burn, so people use aftershave, cold water, moisturizer, whatever.
Yeah, I use aftershave. The aftershave I've had since 2003, I think. But I mean, it's basically just alcohol, so it doesn't go bad.
They fix the symptoms instead of the cause. But the question nobody asks is, should the blade actually move? How do we fix the actual problem?
Well, as I understand, the blade shifting helps it just follow the contours of a person's face. So, yeah, maybe the blade should flex, but let's see where she's going with this.
That's where Henson Shaving comes in. By fully supporting a two-sided blade all across its length at a 30-degree angle, they hold the blade in place to prevent any bouncing, skipping, just giving you an irritation-free shave. No springs, no movement, no reason to compensate with pressure. What separates Henson is the precision behind their design. With their Henson AL13 safety razor being manufactured in the same aerospace machine shop that built parts for the International Space Station. This level of precision allows the blade to extend just 1/1000th of an inch beyond the shave plane, less than the thickness of a human hair. Since I switched to Henson like almost 2 years ago now, I've noticed my shaves have been way silkier and smoother. No tugging, no cuts, just a close shave that feels great on my skin. And here is the best part. Once you invest in a Henson razor, it is a lifetime purchase. The only thing you'll need to replace is the blades, which cost 10 cents each. So once you own the razor, you'll only be spending like $3 to $5 per year on blades, compared to the ongoing cost of buying those little plastic cartridges. Also, the Henson store offers a bunch of different colors, so you can pick out the razor that best suits your vibe. So if you're tired of razor burn, skin irritation, and paying for overpriced razor blades, Henson Shaving is definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, but it's almost 1500 Rand. That's like 1,500 Rand is like my headphones only cost about 2,000 and I didn't even buy them. I bought Nike Air Force Ones for 1,500 back in 2018. So what's 1,500 ZAR to USD? That's just shy of $100. Nice. But, you know, since it is a lifetime thing and then it's only like 170 Rand for 100 premium blades, then 500 Rand for the stand and 850 Rand. So all together, if I do the blades plus, I want to work this out quick. 1350 plus 170 for the blades plus 510 for the stand plus 850 for the razor brush, and then there was the protect shaving cream, which is 340. That's 3,220 Rand altogether. Damn. Okay, but like 100 blades, I bought 100 blades for 170 Rand. You can buy like 5 of the Gillette blades for like 500 Rand. So, and those last me like 3 years a pack. So 100 premium blades, I'll be basically dead and still using these. The rest, yeah, shave brush, razor stand. These are, unless you got the money, I wouldn't get this all in one go. But I like the colors. There's the black, blue, titanium. There's the rose gold. There's actual gold. I like the black one though.
Head over to hensonshaving.com/shoe and add both a Henson razor and 100 blades to your cart. Then enter the code SHOE at checkout to get the blades free with your purchase. Big thanks to Henson Shaving for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, as always, for not skipping the ad. You didn't, right?
Because I'm recording, but I watched it when I watched it before as well.
Alright, let's start with some good news. The median age of home buyers is now 59.
Yes, I did pre-watch this, but not right now. I watched it like a day or two ago when it came, 12 hours after it came out, so I don't remember too much.
Yeah, but that's not all. America's... Alright.
What was that?
Let's start with some good news. The median age of home buyers is now 59.
Oh, brilliant.
But that's not all. America's seniors will now see a new $6,000 bonus exemption as part of the Working Families Tax Cut. That's $93 billion in tax cuts for seniors.
So what counts as a senior in the US? Okay. How old is a senior in the USA? 65 is generally considered the age of a senior citizen. So good, retirees. Let's give retirees a new 6,000 bonus exemption as part of the working families. These people aren't even working.
All over the country. And by working families tax cut, they mean you, the working family. Giving another billion-dollar wealth transfer to the most oppressed class. Boomers. Why are we giving these geriatric f***s another tax break? Maybe they should pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Maybe they should stop buying so much avocado toast. God forbid we help the young...
67, full retirement age in the US is 67 for those born in 1960 or later, while those born between 1955 and 1959 have a full retirement age between 66 and 2 months and 66 and 10 months. Why the two? Like, anyway, early retirement is available at 62, and delaying until age 70 increases payments.
Families raise the...
So, work until you're 70 and then die tired and poor.
Next generation...
Or maybe based on this, you'll have like $10,000 a month pension or something.
Of Americans. No, that would be communism. Young people are poor as f*** nowadays. What are they supposed to do? Piper Raquel, 18, claims she made $2.9 million in a single day after launching OnlyFans.
Nope.
No more rights. No more women's rights. I am ready for the Islamic Revolution.
Look, the economy sucks, and I say get your bag however you can, but there's got to be better ways than that. Maybe not easier ways, though. Anyway.
Mayor Memdani, please press the Islamification button. I know the go-to joke is always, haha, women, am I right? But I think the real question here is, should men be allowed to have credit cards? This woman didn't magically create millions of dollars with her mind out of thin air. No. Millions of men made this woman a millionaire overnight. Where's the accountability for that? I'm out here policing the whores. We need some men to be out there policing the simps.
We do, but then we're called things like gym bros and Tate acolytes and the Red Pill manosphere, and nobody takes us seriously because of guys like Sneaker.
We have a simp epidemic. Simps are out of control. Not all of them though. Mine are cool. They can stay. Yeah. Also, isn't this like the third?
I've been watching you since like 2014, Shoe, so you know.
Third OnlyFans 18th birthday announcement, and the woman turns into a millionaire overnight. Someone a little sus about that. But don't worry, thanks to AI, we are entering a new age of goonerism.
Well, this is terrifying.
Honestly, what's the big deal? Men are already talking to the guys in India who run the accounts of OnlyFans models. Is this really any different? The internet is slowly but surely just becoming Indian men scamming other Indian men. But don't worry, not every internet waifu is a man using AI.
That reminds me of the you want fucking know. You guys know that one? Do you guys know that one? There's like I'm not sure. Yeah, this one.
If accident, then what you wanna do? Why you fuck me? I fuck you, bloody bastard! Fucking running like lady, eh? Bloody bastard, bitch! You are fucking, you are fucking. You fucking, you bloody, you bloody.
This is literally the Indian guys running the OnlyFans accounts, talking to other Indian guys, scamming Indian guys.
In fact, if you live in the UK, you may get a state-funded, far-right, purple-haired waifu. Introducing Pathways, a point-and-click video game created by the UK government to help prevent online radicalization. Pathways is an educational visual novel and learning experience created by the UK media company Shout0 UK, with funding from UK government's Prevent program run by the Home Office. The game is meant to teach the youth about dangers of radicalization and extremism in both real life and online. This is done by putting the players in a role of a character named Charlie, who must navigate 6 different scenarios relating to extremism. In the second
Yeah, and all the extremism they talk about in this game is related to is what normal people would do anyway.
Scenario, the player is introduced to the character Amelia, a staunch anti-immigration protester depicted as a goth girl with purple hair, a pink dress, and a choker. And the internet instantly fell in love with her.
Yeah, we did. I've saved lots of Amelia fan art already.
It's like they made her have short purple hair thinking that that would prevent this from happening. But the UK failed to consider the fact that conservatives love art hoes. They act like they don't, they'll deny it, they'll pretend they just want a blonde traditional housewife, but deep down every conservative wants a woman who looks like this, who says the N-word.
True.
Government-funded video games. Incredible. At least our government doesn't do weird shit like that. No, our government is very normal. Believe it or not, Mar-a-Lago Furry Party was on my 2026 bingo card.
Oh. So what did you know that the rest of us didn't know? Shoot, damn.
I miss when this weird shit was just done underground. I miss when these parties were secret. Speaking of, the Epstein files were released.
Again.
Wow. Incredible. The things they are.
So what you do with those, well, what is up with
these
my
parties were secret.
pausing?
Speaking of, the Epstein files were released.
So what you do with this is you put it into, you can find, you can download the files, right, as far as I know. And so then when you open it, if you got it down as a PDF, you open it in Adobe. If you have editing mode, you can just copy paste it and put it all into a Word document, and all this black stuff that you see on the screen disappears. At least that's as far as I know how that works. So yeah, then you can find out who the masseuses on Epstein's island were.
Wow.
Yeah,
incredible.
Very comprehensive.
The things they are showing us are eerie enough. I couldn't imagine the things that they're redacting. It is absolutely disgusting that these powerful people are still being protected. We as a country should be extremely concerned about an international child trafficking ring. This is not just something we all move from, and we kidnapped the president of Venezuela.
Breaking just now, Maduro, the president says, has been captured.
Maduro has been captured and flown out of the country.
In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night.
First pictures of Nicolas Maduro on the Iwo Jima that he was being transferred on.
Trump voters voted to fix the economy and to afford homes again. They didn't vote to kidnap communists in the middle of the night. Actually, they probably did vote for that.
Yeah, they probably did. At least that's one of the things they voted for. Maybe being able to afford housing and groceries is one of the things they wanted along with this.
Never mind.
The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago.
Holy shit. This is the most transparent administration in history. They weren't lying. I don't know if it's the Stockholm Syndrome or what, but it's almost refreshing to hear a leader say, yeah, this is about oil. Like, thank you, sir, thank you.
Look, I mean, at least he's honest, right? How many times in South Africa, I don't know if it's the same in other places, but particularly in South Africa, I am so sick and tired of hearing my government talk about stuff and then it turning out to be a massive amount of bullshit. And you know it's bullshit. You don't even need to question it because it's coming out of their mouths. The only time they're not lying is when their mouths are shut, right? And you know that, but for some reason the fuckers keep getting voted in.
Thank you for just saying it's about oil. Thank you for not pretending it's about saving democracy and just doing imperialism the old-fashioned way. We have such terrible Middle Eastern war fatigue that it was shocking to not hear about how Venezuela is just jealous of our freedoms or some shit. Like, no, it's just for ExxonMobil. Like, okay, carry on. The U.S. used a powerful mystery weapon that brought Venezuelan soldiers to their knees, bleeding through their nose, and vomiting blood during the daring raid to capture dictator Nicolas Maduro. Yeah, if you're wondering why we don't have healthcare, this is why.
Yeah,
we have invisible laser beams that can make people bleed out their eyes. Apparently, directed energy weapons are real. The Goy beam is real. Deep state files are real. Havana syndrome is real. Hell, it's almost like being a conspiracy theorist is just another word for being correct too early.
Yes! Thank you! God. The amount of times over the last 5 years I've been called a conspiracy theorist, and I've been right on almost everything, as it turns out. Oh, the Pfizer vaccine that blocks stops you from getting contracting COVID or being infectious or whatever. Then I said, how? Because they haven't tested that yet. There's nothing in anything about the vaccine that says this. Oh, but no, you just trust the science. You don't understand. And then the Pfizer spokesperson comes out and says, we never actually tested it for its ability to reduce infection or prevent infection. So why the hell would I take it then? But you know what? I was right, and I was told how I was endangering other people's lives. You know what? I'm pretty much a shut-in, a hikikomori, if you will. But if I was a girl, I'd be called a neat. But you know, so I'm not endangering anybody. But damn, and then masks as well. Oh, you just hate other people's safety. You don't want to help protect other people. Listen, if I can breathe, the fucking airborne virus can come in and out of the fucking mask. You know, you don't need to be a scientist to figure that out. But no, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and yeah, I was just right too early. That's what that was.
What's next? COVID was fake? There have been significant developments in the last 5 to 7 years on social, environment, and technology fronts that could help realize My Carbon initiatives for shaping the future towards smart and sustainable cities.
COVID-19 was the test of this from the World Economic Forum. COVID-19 was the test of social responsibility. A huge number of unimaginable restrictions for public health were adopted by billions of citizens across the world. There were numerous examples globally of maintaining social distancing, wearing masks, mass vaccinations, and acceptance of contact tracing applications for public health, which demonstrated the core of individual social responsibility. I fucking knew it! I knew it was just a bloody psyop to see how pliable and obedient the sheep were.
COVID-19 was the test of social responsibility. A huge number of unimaginable restrictions for public health were adopted by billions of citizens across the world. There were numerous examples globally of maintaining social distancing, wearing masks, mass vaccinations, and acceptance of contact tracing applications for public health, which demonstrated the core of individual social responsibility. Oh, sorry, I just owe many people many apologies. Anyway, Venezuela has no president. Who is going to run Venezuela?
So we are going to run the country.
A few moments later.
Hola, amigos. Yo soy su nuevo presidente, el señor Donaldo J. Trumpo.
Can we maybe just fix our country first? Can we fix our broken infrastructure, our education system? Can we do a little nation building in this nation?
That sounds like me talking about the South African government who wants to put its fingers in multiple pies across Africa and be like, we need to help Zimbabwe fix up their shit, and we need to help Nigeria with their stuff. And oh, look, the Congo's struggling. It's like we had like 2 years of non-stop load shedding, okay?
Can a bitch get a little regime change in our own country, please? And you know, with modern American nation building comes refugees. So who is gonna take in these Venezuelan refugees? Are we? Only the hot ones, apparently.
United States increasingly issuing work visas to OnlyFans models based on level of audience reach, according to the Financial Times.
Imagine being an immigrant from like some poor country, working your ass off to get a work visa in the United States, when all you had to do was bend over and show hole. Big booty Latinas to the front.
Okay, but what do guys do? Because I'm pretty sure guys don't have that option.
Tortas to the back. Anyway, na boo boo, my president can kidnap your president. We're invincible. We can regime change anyone we want. Who's next?
Yeah, well, like Asmongold said, like Trump should literally go around and kidnap random third world dictators and leaders every month or so. Just keep everybody on their toes, right?
Canada, Greenland, Cuba. Cuba's literacy rates are higher than ours. Maybe they should come liberate our dumbasses. Kids are swiping on books. But f it, the Don Road Doctrine, baby. Let's go. America is back. Dick Cheney is looking up at us smiling.
You just wait for Cuba. Cuba is a communist dictatorship.
Why does Trump look at him like that?
Days are numbered.
Trump, listen to me. Wait, Trump doesn't watch this shit. Vance, listen to me. Get people like Lindsey Graham far away from anyone in power right now. This little Venezuela stunt was cute, but we are not touching any other country. We are not touching the Middle East, especially. No more Middle East. We all have Middle East fatigue. We are done. This whole thing really put into perspective just how weird it was that we were there like for 20 years. You mean we could have just been in and out in a few hours? I guess those poppy fields couldn't maintain themselves though. Anyway.
Yeah, well, it was being in the Middle East. So they went in and overnight they captured Maduro. And so Shoe's point about just being in and out, well, you can't mine oil for 20 years if you're just in and out, you know? You can't drill for oil that way. That's what Afghanistan, Desert Storm, all that was all about. It was all just getting the oil. They happy.
Yeah, sorry, excuse me. But did you forget to check in with Lilith, the barista from Bushwick, and see how she feels about this?
Yes, but that was on purpose.
Trump said the United States will be running Venezuela! Whoa! A colony! Whoa! Imperialism! All for what? So a fucking multinational corporation can get profit!
You know,
I feel like she should be a girl that exists. Yes. I feel like this person should be in a Rick and Morty. Should be in an episode of Rick and Morty.
Whoa!
Listen to it.
A colony! Whoa! Imperialism! All for what? So a fucking multinational corporation can get profit!
You know what's funny is I basically said the exact same thing this person said, but I said it less loudly. She has.
Yeah, and well, people think you're a Nazi, so that's why they didn't listen.
A nose ring and I don't, so I'm right and she's wrong. End of story. I guess this is just what happens when you dismantle the soft power of things like USAID. We're no longer doing secret regime change operations behind the scenes. Now we're just straight up kidnapping other world leaders in the dead of night and just saying it's about oil, which honestly kind of makes me believe it's not about oil. They're never that blatant, right? I mean, what could it be? Like, Israel isn't behind this one, right?
The implications here are really great for the Venezuelan people.
Oh, God damn it. You know, people say I have Israel derangement syndrome, but I'm sorry, I can't help it when they get on TV and say shit like this.
No.
Yeah, but Israel seems to be the world's boogeyman of today, alongside Russia and China. Like, China, I think, does represent a proper threat. I couldn't tell you why. Couldn't explain why. It's just a vibe I get, right? I don't trust communists to begin with, and China is still a communist government. So is Russia, as far as I'm aware. I don't see how Putin's been in power for so long without it being a communist government. So yeah, I don't trust communists. And Israel, they're just everybody's punching bag these days.
It's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. And quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government.
The government should
control social media.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? And what he's talking about goes exactly against the First Amendment.
Should do that.
Try explaining that to someone without showing them the video. Go ahead. Yeah, there's a Jewish billionaire named Shlomo who wants to control the internet. Like, okay man, you're in too deep. No more Instagram reels for you. Anyway, you should have just let us play video games. Now we're perp walking the president of Venezuela down the streets of New York City. But hey, leftists, just think of it this way. By bombing and kidnapping, instead of just doing the usual covert psyops, we saved maybe, what? $1 billion? $1 billion that could go to other, more important things, like defense contractors' stock buybacks and empty Somalian daycares, apparently.
This is MAGA YouTuber Nick Shirley.
MAGA YouTuber.
Back at a daycare in Minnesota, he alleged was a fraudulent facility in a now viral video. Shirley tries to open locked doors and talk to people at various daycares he claims are frauds.
The point is that blacked out doors.
Okay, if a daycare looked like that, I wouldn't be sending my kids there anyway. Legit or not.
They can't give you any information. You call that number, no one answers.
It's not like Nick Shirley was the first person to expose this either, but now it exploded. And the fallout has been bizarre, to say the least. The funniest part had to be when the infamous luring center claimed to have been broken into the night this all went viral.
Unfortunately, we saw that there was important documentation, enrollment of the children.
You can see the hamster in the hamster on the wheel in this guy's head. He's running his arse off as this guy tries to recall the lines he's been coached.
And also employee documentation that was gone. There were also checkbooks that were ripped from our check papers that were ripped from our book. This is devastating news.
Oh no!
Oh no, he sounds and looks really devastated, like... yeah. They could be... This is actually insulting, to be honest. This is like... Oh no, the documentation to prove that you're a legit daycare was all stolen as soon as as soon as you got exposed as a fraudulent facility. Oh no. Couldn't be coincidental at all. I'm remembering Barbosa from At World's End. It would strain incredulity at that.
Also, checkbooks that were ripped from our check papers that were ripped from our book.
Shame, he's trying so hard.
This is devastating news.
Oh no, somebody broke into the daycare and stole all the paperwork we needed to prove we are a legit operation. Please ignore my suspicious exact paperwork we need to prove we are a legit operation shaped belly. Listen, no hate to the Somalians, but when my family came here 100 years ago, we did organized crime the right way. We would have had tin walls and cement shoes at the bottom of Lake Superior. This is just sad. This is cartoonishly pathetic. Listen, nobody is gonna want to support government programs if they think it's all going to like this.
Yeah, nobody's going to support welfare programs either if they think it's going to go to shit like this.
If you want people to support a welfare state, you have to make sure that welfare is actually going to real things that help real people.
Yes.
Listen, it's already hard enough to convince a right-wing audience that there's more to leftism than Reddit and butt sex. Now I have to convince them the wealth redistribution I advocate for isn't all going to Somalian welfare pirates. Thanks. That money should be spent on more important things like... New Gaza. That's right, the World Economic Forum and Jared Kushner are proud to present New Gaza. Yes, the demolition project is finally complete, folks. Time to build a sweet green and a f***ing Deloitte branch on top of the bodies of thousands of dead children. Hell is not hot enough, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it really isn't.
Hell is not hot enough. Anyway, because of all...
But am I wrong for saying I don't care? Let them do what they want. He wants to blow like billions and billions of dollars on New Gaza. Like, I don't even know, where is Davos? Where is Davos? Davos is a town and municipality in the canton of Graubünden, eastern Switzerland. located in the Landwasser Valley in the Rhaetian Alps. You know what? Build the new Gaza there. Send all the Palestinians there. It's fucking cold. They go from desert to snowy tundra. That can only be good for them.
This fraud stuff, Tim Walz is stepping down, which is sad to see because he has to be one of my favorite characters in modern America lore. The first white male DEI hire, the last white dude for Kamala Harris, a dying breed. But hey, maybe this marks an official end to the Kamala Harris era, and we can move on and focus on rebuilding the Democratic Party to something more.
Harris stepping toward another White House run.
No. We are not doing this. No. I swear to God, the Democratic Party.
She's a sucker for punishment, Kamala Harris is.
He's like an old friend addicted to heroin or something. You want to help them, you do everything you can to help them, but they don't listen. They keep doing stupid things and hurting themselves. But
it's more, that is a brilliant pause, by the way. It's more akin to an abusive spouse in which the Democrat Party keeps putting Kamala Harris forward, saying, that she didn't mean to hit me. She can change.
You just can't give up on them. You can't. You want to see them get better. You know deep down they could be how they used to be. But it's hopeless. And all your other friends keep saying to you, just forget them. Just forget them. It's not worth it. Come hang out with us instead. But those friends are on crack. Those friends are on crack cocaine. But this Minneapolis fraud thing is looking pretty bad for Tim Walz and the Democrats. People aren't just gonna forget about this, and an ICE officer just shot a woman in the face in Minneapolis.
You can hear the agents.
Yeah, okay, since that video came out, there's been a bunch of other stuff. Look, what happened to...
Tell the woman to get out of the car and approach the SUV. No! The woman then drives forward. That's when the shots are fired, the car crashing.
As I was writing this video, an innocent woman was picking her kids up from school when an ICE...
Innocent woman? She was not. As I understand it, she left her 3 kids off while she was under investigation for child abuse, after she put a lit cigarette out in her one kid's hand. She buggered off across state lines to Minneapolis, as far as I know, I speak under correction, to go cause trouble with ICE. So, a huge thing after her death was she was a mother of 3. So was my mom, and she would never have gone to go cause trouble at a political protest rather than stay home and look after her kids. So I don't think Renee Good was a particularly good mother. And yeah, when you try to run someone over, maybe shooting at her was a little bit overkill. But, you know, video from like 3-4 different angles came out. I watched all of them, and she definitely tried to run him over. So innocent? I think not.
Officer jumped in front of her car and randomly shot her in the face. Or an angry protester was blocking the road and tried to run over an ICE officer with her car, so he shot in self-defense. Depends on how you look at it. Depends on how you voted, apparently. The way I see it, this woman was not trying to hit him. She was not trying to run him over. I think she was trying to drive away. And in an alternate universe, he dodges the car and she drives away. And it's easy to be like, oh, in hindsight, he should have done this, he should have done that. That's like so much of the discourse right now I'm seeing is just in hindsight this, in hindsight that. And it's easy
to turn around and say, this should have happened or that should have happened, but the real question is why was that situation even a thing? You know, why was she there? Why was it necessary for ICE to be there in the first place? You know, there's a whole lot before that incident that didn't actually have to lead to that incident. It didn't have to even exist to lead to the incident. Think about like we can see, let's go back in time and we're seeing the future of Renee Good getting shot. We could tell her not to go. She didn't have to be there. She wasn't being paid to be there, or maybe she was, I don't know. But, you know, if she had stayed home, she'd have been fine. If the people for whom ICE was there weren't there to be targeted by ICE, ICE wouldn't be there, and neither would Renee Good have been there, and this whole situation could have been avoided. You see where I'm going with this?
for us to say in hindsight, you know, after the fact. It's easy to say he could have, he should have, but all he saw was a car revving up and going towards him. This has been one of the most insane political Rorschach tests I've ever seen in my life. It really all comes down to how you view ICE and police officers in general. Many, not all, leftists view ICE as completely illegitimate. Same with the police, they want to abolish both. So you're not going to get a real unbiased conversation with those people.
No.
Because why the f should a protester respect ICE in the first place? And many, not all, conservatives tend to be complete and utter f***ing bootlickers, completely unable to criticize anything the police do. ICE can do no wrong. Don't tread on me becomes tread harder, daddy, real fast. This is extremely aggravating discourse, and you should be questioning anyone who takes a really firm, hard stance either way and like can't fathom how the other side is seeing what they are seeing.
And yet you get so much shit for being in the middle. The so-called fence sitter, the filthy centrist. And yet I avoid hard stances on both sides because a hard stance is rarely appropriate in any sort of situation or circumstance.
The first episode of my old Hellworld series was actually all about police brutality. It was all about police brutality towards innocent protesters. I was a little more ACAB-y back then. I was a little more lived the f*** out back then. But hey, to be fair to me back then, that is what happens when you live in the sheltered suburbs of Long Island in your parents' basement versus having a kid and living in the city for 4 years. The police are a taxpayer-funded HR department for structural violence. They exist solely to protect the rights of private property. Yeah, we need more police. Police are good. Police are great. Give the police more guns. More guns. Give them more guns. Tanks. Tanks even.
In Saints Row 4, or maybe it's Saints Row 3. It's one of the Saints Row games. If you're driving a tank through the town, the one cop is like, "Why can't I patrol in a tank?" or something like that. I know the one is like, "Why can't I patrol in a chopper?"
Overall opinion is still basically the same. I'm very critical of the police. I am very pro First Amendment. Protesting is a fundamental American right, and we can't just go around labeling protesters domestic terrorists. That is an insane, slippery slope.
I think it depends on whether or not how you're protesting. If you're going to go around like spitting on ICE agents and law enforcement and attempting to assault or brutalize or in any other way harm them, I think then you are something of a terrorist. You may be terrorist light because you're not going around bombing places or mass shootings and shit, but I think that if you're not going to just go out there, protest, have your say and leave, then I think I think domestic terrorist is an appropriate label.
And if you support that, I promise you will come back to bite you in the ass. So good luck in 2028 when President Newsom knocks you up.
Knocks you up.
Whoa,
What?
Knocks you up. Whoa, what's going on here? Good luck in 2028.
I don't want Gavin Newsom anywhere near me. Thank you very much.
When President Newsom locks you up for protesting against mandatory forced feminization or whatever the f it is Democrats do. What do they do? Nothing. They do nothing.
They make a lot of noise.
I don't know. I left this joke blank. Something pronouns. Like, God forbid the state ever turns me into Swiss cheese and the president's like, she was a radical leftist lunatic. The people called her Commie Mommy. Can you believe that, folks? Commie Mommy. Sad. And some people were like straight up.
Why does she do a very good Trump impression?
Mocking this woman, celebrating it. And then when people were like, what the f***? They were like, well, you got Charlie Kirk, so now we got one of your guys. Is that what we're doing now? We're just gonna keep killing each other back and forth? Is that what this is now? Like some kind of civil war? Who gets me in the national divorce?
That's what I said was gonna happen. If this is why I made a video about Charlie Kirk, and I said that the problem with this is you can't justify, even if you hate the guy's guts, you cannot justify his murder in any shape, form, or manner because you are giving license for the same to be done to you. And what happens then is literally an eye for an eye and the world goes blind, except a Kirk for a Renee Good, and then Renee Good for, then it's going to be somebody else on the right for Renee Good, and then it's going to be that person, and it's a never-ending story of let's kill this one because they killed that one. And it's just not going to do anything. It's not going to go anywhere good, and it's not going to be beneficial to anyone at all. And people are just going to die for no good reason. It's stupid, it's short-sighted, and I don't approve.
Hell yeah, 2 Christmases. Like, you agreed with me when I was upset about the reactions people had about Charlie Kirk, and then you're over here like, boo-hoo, she was a stupid libtard. Honestly, some of you just don't have morals. You have, like, temporary weapons you can use to bludgeon people you don't like when you have the chance. You and all the people who mock Charlie Kirk are all going in the pit, and you can come out when you learn how to be normal. In my opinion, a lot of focus on illegal immigration should go to the employers employing people like in a civil war. Who gets me in the national divorce? Hell yeah, 2 Christmases. Like, you agreed with me when I was upset about the reactions people had about Charlie Kirk, and then you're over here like, boo-hoo, she was a stupid libtard. Honestly,
No, I never said that as well. Like, what happened to Renee Good shouldn't have happened in the first place. I do think that she brought it on herself if she had just cooperated and done what the ICE officer had said. And this is my stance has always been. You hear about like people getting shot at random traffic stops, or people getting stopped by police and it escalating to the guy getting shot and whatever. Whatever happens, and lawyers, I've seen lawyers say that you should fight the police then, and no. That is not a fight you're going to win on the street. Never, ever, because they can get back up there within minutes, right? So you have no room to fight that. You are not going to win that on the street. So if a police officer, what you could do is ask for what their probable cause is, right? But if you just shut your mouth and listen for like a few seconds, they'll explain what's going on. So when the police officer stops you, like, can I see your license and registration? You give them the license and registration. And then, once they've checked everything out, they're going to explain to you what the hell's going on. So you don't need to, you just shut your mouth and you wait, let the cop do his job, and you'll get yourself sorted out, right? Was that the case with Renee Good? I don't know. I don't even know what she was there or why the officer wanted to speak to her or like told her to step out the car or whatever. I don't know. What I know is that if she had just cooperated with him, she probably would still be alive today.
Some of you just don't have morals. You have like temporary weapons you can use to bludgeon people you don't like when you have the chance. You and all the people who mock Charlie Kirk are all going in the pit, and you can come out when you learn how to be normal. In my opinion, a lot of focus on illegal immigration should go to the employers employing illegal immigrants for cheaper scab labor. I feel like that's really important, and like we're not doing that. It's kind of interesting that the government is focused so hard on immigration right now, but like apparently hasn't made any like real actual legislative change to the laws of immigration. Dragging Jose out of Home Depot might work for now, but they have to be working on something more substantial, right? Well, Palantir, the company named after the evil crystal ball in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, Palantir. Okay.
Right.
It's dangerous. We don't know who might be watching.
Apparently working on a new tool for ICE. And what does it do? Oh, nothing really. Just creates a map of deportation targets.
The inventory released by ICE on Wednesday also references another Palantir development tool called Enhanced Leads Identification and Targeting for Enforcement, ELITE, which was first reported by 4FL Media earlier this month. ELITE creates maps outlining potential deportation targets and presents information dossiers on each person. The tool pulls data from Department of Health and Human Services to identify addresses for potential targets. Okay. So that explains how ICE is also looking into the welfare databases and shit to find out where these people are as well.
Pulls up a dossier on them and assigns them a confidence score. Because if there's one thing we can trust, it's a private Silicon Valley tech company's algorithm deciding who gets disappeared. Every single surveillance tool starts by simply protecting us. It's only gonna affect the baddies. But who are the baddies? Today it's illegal immigrants. Tomorrow it's furries. Next
X-Men 3. It's different, but it's kind of the same thing too.
Week it's people who are into feet, and before you know it, it's fans of VTubers. You know, on second thought, I don't buy into the propaganda that simply enforcing border security, something every developed country has, is akin to Nazi Germany. No. Sorry, I don't. Build a wall? Hitler. Deport illegal immigrants? Hitler.
Used to be that cities had walls built around them. Now we're trying to do it with countries, and that's what borders are for.
Just kick out the criminal ones at least? Hitler. Like, there's no other option besides open borders that is acceptable to some people, and I don't get that. What I do get, however, is that people don't want to live under a Palantir police state, where people can't even film ICE agents without getting put on some kind of f***ing list. I feel like there has to be some kind of normal, sane option besides total free-for-all, globo-homo versus Peter Thiel, nightmare tech bro dystopia. Like, how is it not possible to just, like, be normal, be normal, be normal, be normal. But hey, it's cool the DHS created a portal where you can see all the people they have been deporting. One guy was deported back to Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't? Yugoslavia was a Balkan country, 1918 to 1992, created as the land of the South Slavs. After World War I, comprising 6 republics: Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia, Bosnia, and Herzegovina, Montenegro, and Macedonia. I did not know that. You learn things on the Shoe0nHead channel.
We sent that motherfucker back in time. Listen, what happened to Renee Good was a tragedy. It was terrible.
Oh, I see. It's just on the eastern coast of Italy, below Austria. There's Austria, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and it borders them going down to Albania and Greece. Okay.
Terrible, but hopefully nothing like this ever happens again. And another person was shot by ICE in Minneapolis.
According to a preliminary Department of Homeland Security report, 2 Border Patrol agents discharged their weapons, seen here in graphic cell phone video captured by eyewitnesses. 10 shots fired off in total in just seconds. Preddy pronounced dead on the scene.
To be absolutely clear, stuff is still coming out about this as I am filming. Literally, as I am filming, this happened. You know, there's no body cam footage yet, so I could be totally wrong. Totally possible, totally possible. Okay. However, first impressions of watching the video at multiple angles, multiple times, yeah, I think they just fucking murdered that guy.
Yeah, so what I heard about Alex Preddy is he'd been in trouble with ICE agents beforehand, and he was there because he actually lost his job as the nurse due to being abusive towards patients. He went to that protest with a loaded firearm with 2 additional magazines, and he attempted to assault an officer. Now, you don't see that in the video, so the video is out of context, apparently. Again, I speak under correction as well. But why they shot him is unclear to me, because apparently it was heard that the one ICE agent said, "I've got his gun." Now, I can't figure out why they'd shoot him if they already had disarmed him, unless the first guy who fired just heard gun and then shot, in which case he needs to go back and get remedial training, because you know, you need to actually be cognizant of things. But that's the only reason I can think of that actually makes sense. Now, I'm not one of them conservative police bootlickers, but the police and law enforcement don't just shoot you for no good reason, okay? There is almost always some form of threat that they are trying to neutralize if they shoot you. We don't know what it was at the time, and especially not in the case of Alex Preddy, since they got his weapon away from him. But yeah, I just figured, I don't know why they shot him, but there had to be a understandable reason, if not a good one. I mean, shooting the guy because you just heard the word gun is not a particularly good reason, especially when you got like 4 or 5 guys beating the snot out of him. Yes, my dad, just the act of self-protection. Yeah, possibly that. You know, so yeah, they don't just shoot you for no good reason. There's a lot of paperwork, to say nothing of the psychological toll of killing someone.
It looks like they took his gun and then shot him. Like 10 officers come over to him, wrestle him to the ground, the agent disarms him, take his gun, they yell, "Gun, gun, gun," and then they shoot him several times in the back. More.
Yeah, you see, it just doesn't add up. They wrestle a bunch of officers around him, they wrestle him to the ground, they take his gun, and then they shoot him? Doesn't add up, does it?
More information can come out, but the compulsive bootlicking I have been seeing has been fucking insane.
Why does a nurse feel compelled to go confront ICE armed with a 9mm handgun?
Only one person could have prevented this from happening, and it's Alex Preddy.
You know, yeah, why does a nurse feel like go with a gun to confront ICE or whatever? The weapon was legal, he was licensed to carry and everything, so why not, right? But just because he had it on him doesn't mean he's going to use it. It's not like you can't really say be sure that he wasn't going to use it, but again, the reasonable man test. What's the reasonable man think? Well, Minneapolis is kind of volatile right now, and you got people confronting other people and assaulting other people, so it could have been for protection, you know? So I think it's a poor argument.
Yeah, who goes to a protest and brings a gun?
Okay, but he was there for protection of stuff. He was there to protect things and to, well, as far as I know. I've forgotten his name already, so.
Look, if the government can take a firearm from you and then kill you because you had a firearm, then nobody actually has a right to own a firearm. Yeah. If that is how it works, then there's actually no such thing as the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment does not exist. I feel like some people genuinely just forget that police are just people. ICE officers are just people. They're literally just people who work for the government like anyone else. They're DMV employees with guns. They can be stupid. They can be bad. They can make mistakes. Like, I don't know what it is about some people. Like, once someone has a badge, it's like, that person is just a perfect angel and cannot be criticized at all.
No, for me it's the opposite, and I think this is you at the risk of being arrogant, I think it should be the opposite, and this is the way to look at it, in that if you've got a badge, you are held to a higher standard, not a level 1, not the same standard. You are there to set an example because you have authority. Your badge has power. Normally people focus on the power that on the power that's strapped to the hip, but the badge has power as well. And that's why people who wear it, they're held to a higher standard.
You're telling me all I have to do to get you fucking people to listen to me is to dress like this? Alright, fair enough. Stop gooning.
Shoo, if you came up to me dressed like that and were an actual cop coming to arrest me, I'd give you an excuse to lay hands on me.
None of this would have happened if ICE agents were being trained better instead of being rushed through the system with little to no training. And if Minnesota just worked alongside ICE to make sure they were doing
What was that?
None of this would have happened if ICE agents were being trained better instead of being rushed through the
DHS has not offered clarity about new officers' training since Minneapolis shooting. A senior DHS official told People magazine on January 8th, training to become an enforcement and removal operation 8 weeks long. I mean, that's... Chotamate, how long was training for Vietnam? I believe it was 8 weeks. 8 to 9 weeks of basic combat training. So it's probably an industry standard. How long is training for police on average? Okay, 1 to 2. Police training typically takes about 5 to 6 months for the academy phase. Roughly 800 to 1,000 hours, followed by 4 months to over a year of field training, bringing the total initial training to 1 to 2 years. In some jurisdictions like South Africa, the process is structured to 24 months program. Okay, so I don't know why ICE, mind you, that ICE agents, so is it normal for enforcement and removal operations officers to be trained in 8 weeks? Based on reports from late 2025, it has become normal for newly hired ERO officers to undergo roughly 8 weeks, approximately 47 to 48 days of in-person training at federal law enforcement training centers in Georgia. However, this 8-week time frame represents a significant reduction from the previous traditional program, which lasted on roughly 5 months. Yeah, significant reductions an understatement. I'm with you on this
system
one,
with little to no training. And if Minnesota just worked alongside ICE to make sure they were doing this in a safe and more effective way, instead of just egging on a fucking jihad against them. Also, if ICE's goal is to round up pedophiles and fraudsters, I hear there's a pretty big list of pedophiles and fraudsters that need to be rounded up. Unfortunately, we'll never fucking get to see it. I'm trying to make this video somewhat funny and entertaining, but I'm not gonna lie, this is really bleak. Is America okay? Can we please go one single day without living through a major historical event, please? And a bunch of new Epstein files just dropped. Great.
Yep.
We're going to war with Iran soon, aren't we? Where was
Probably. War with Iran, but they're currently war with Iran, but they're pretty much at war with themselves right now. So
this just says Mr. Beast tendies. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
This is simulating a chicken's body and the cells are just multiplying. I honestly can't tell the difference. What the heck?
I will not live in a pod. I will not eat the Antichrist lab-grown chicken tendies. Oh, I completely forgot about this. Sorry, I am not on my Vyvanse today, folks. I forgot to take my normal pills. It wasn't long before the race hustlers
I don't know what medicine she was talking about.
Took advantage of the terrible Renee Good situation in Minneapolis.
Say Her Name is a movement started by Black women, for Black women specifically, and it's not appropriate to use in regards to Renee Good.
Oh, fuck off. Really? Say Her Name is for Black women, not Renee Nicole Good. So you know what? It doesn't matter what you do. You can't win. She happened to be white, so fuck her, I guess.
She deserves a hashtag and everything. It should not be Say Her Name. Say Her Name is reserved for Black women.
This is not for any other race. Simple as that.
Say Her Name is specifically reserved for Black women.
Say Her Name is for Black women.
It feels kind of wrong being here in some way. I don't know why.
Why do you think?
This is pathetic. This is performative. This is hypocritical. Well, there's typical leftism then.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why. That's called white guilt, honey. That's the white guilt you're feeling. It's amazing. You can literally be killed by the state for the cause. And these fucking people will still disgrace you for the curse of being born Caucasian.
Yeah.
This is very woke 1.0. I thought it was dark woke time.
Nobody forgetting when they're good. She has achieved the highest honor a white person can achieve. Race traitor.
The fuck is this about?
She has achieved the highest honor a white person can achieve. Race traitor.
You know what? I'll keep to my own honor system, thank you.
And this type of psychotic rhetoric seems to be working, because like 70% of the videos I see of people like trying to disrupt ICE has been white women. White women literally throwing themselves at armed officers like lemmings off a fucking cliff for street tacos. What the hell is going on with white women?
Well, it kind of fits what Asmongold said about the biggest threat to America being the upper middle class, middle-aged white women who would import the people who would come in and kill them and cause problems in the country. That's the biggest. He was absolutely right.
Who will save the white race?
Ah yes, Hitler's strongest soldiers. A Mexican, a Dominican, a black guy, and a looksmaxer.
That looksmaxer is none other than
Who the fuck are they? Who are these guys?
Ah yes, Hitler's strongest soldiers. A Mexican.
Men should not wear pink. I'm sorry, but you just don't. Don't wear pink. That is not a flattering color on you at all, dude. It makes you look like a strawberry milkshake. And no socks with your white shoes. Gay!
Mexican, a Dominican, a black guy, and a looksmaxer.
That looksmaxer is none other than Clavicular. Clavicular is a Gen Z influencer.
Sounds like a kind of an STD. Actually, clavicle sounds closer, but that's got nothing to do with any sort of venereal disease. Anyway, it's not a name you'd hear me call myself.
A live streamer who got his start within the niche red pill communities and has recently
Clavicus vile. from Elder Scrolls. Is he trying to be the Daedric Prince knockoff?
Blown up to mainstream popularity, especially in right-wing circles. His main claim to fame is looks maxing. Looks maxing, for those of you who are employed, is...
Looks maxing is a term for aggressively maximizing one's physical attractiveness through routines like skincare, facial exercises, mewing, fitness, and sometimes extreme cosmetic...
What the fuck is mewing? Hang on. Do I want to know? I'm scared. What the fuck is mewing? A popular non-medical technique after orthodontist John Mew that involves resting the entire tongue flat against the roof of the mouth to supposedly improve facial posture and jawline definition over time. Sounds like a load of horse shit.
procedures, originating in online incel forums but popularized on TikTok, focusing on enhancing features like jawline and bone structure.
I personally think it's interesting to see men adopting the insane beauty rituals that women have been doing for decades.
Yeah, imagine taking care of your looks and basic human hygiene. What a radical concept for most men. I say that, but I'm being sarcastic.
But now that a man is doing it, it's seen as psychopathic or gay. A woman will literally spend thousands of dollars on hair, makeup, skincare, peptides, plastic surgery, fillers, Botox, red light therapy, moon water, and we just call her Stacey.
What is moon water?
But a man does it, and we call him Patrick Bateman. A woman reshapes her entire face with makeup? Normal. A man reshapes his jawline with makeup? Gay. A woman...
Moon water is a regular water left out overnight under the moonlight to absorb its energy. Oh God.
Wears a push-up bra to make her tits look bigger? Empowering. A man shoves socks in his shoes to make himself taller? A liar. A woman gets lip filler? Typical. A man smashes his face with a hammer to make his jaw swell up?
What?
Okay, yeah, that one's a little insane. One of the looks maxing tips some young men are apparently doing is called bone smashing, where they take a hard object, usually a hammer, and smash the bones in their face to make their face temporarily swell up and allegedly give them that Chad jawline.
What the fuck? That sounds like you're opening yourself up to major health problems later on. That is one of the most stupid things I've ever heard of doing in my entire life. Damn.
Honestly, don't knock it till you try it. Here we go.
No!
Perfect. So that concludes this episode of the Hellworld Report. If you liked it, please subscribe and consider donating to my Patreon, link down below. It helps the channel and I appreciate it so much. If you don't want to do that, you can also put a little tip down in the tip jar somewhere over here somewhere. I feel like a barista. Yeah, it's just gonna ask you something on the screen down there. If you have some stories you want me to cover in the next Hellworld Report, brilliant. Be sure to send them to me on Twitter at Shoe0nHead. I will give you a little shout out if I wind up using the story in the next episode. Okay, and I will see you guys with a new fun slop video. I keep promising a slop video and then terrible things keep happening. I'm sorry. Next video is a slop video. I promise. Okay, bye.
Bring out the VTuber videos! Wow, we still have... Is it just 2 minutes of credits? Ah, that's what I was waiting for. Hot Cop Shoe!
The government's good little boy! You are! You are!
Oh God, I love this woman. That's Shoe0nHead, everybody. Go check her out. She's pretty awesome. Shoe, I love you, but you don't need what little money I earn in tips or Patreon. That said, I am paying for an X subscription to Premium because, it's actually helped my account and helped my reach, and that helps with other things I'm working on. So it's worth it. But Shoe doesn't need my help. She's doing well enough on her own. I love you, Shoe. Take care, everybody. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.